This is Anything But Footy. I'm Michael. We are here in the centre of Birmingham today. It's exactly 2 years to the Birmingham Commonwealth Games in 2022, and a landmark day because you are unveiling your venues for 3-on-3 basketball and beach volleyball. Describe the setting for us, Ian.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? So we're standing at the moment in a huge derelict site in the centre of Birmingham. The Smithfield is the name of the site, and it was the old market actually in Birmingham that's been completely cleared. And you're right, so this morning we're announcing this being the venue for 3-on-3 basketball and for beach volleyball. We've got some small courts set up here to demonstrate that. But this is really about bringing the Commonwealth Games sports into the city centre, showcasing in the backdrop the Selfridges building there, the Bull Ring and others. So really showcasing the best of Birmingham architecture as well here. But also they're kind of urban sports, right? So we're bringing them into a kind of urban site, and we're going to make this really the real centre of the games with two really exciting and young and growing sports.
How important is it to bring sports like this into a city centre?
Hugely important, I think, because what we want to do is make sure these games are accessible. So we'll also build some real fan and family engagement around this site as well, so that people can see and feel the sport, but also in terms of what Birmingham wants out of investing significantly in this event, it's showcasing the city. So this gives the broadcast shots on the back of a fabulous 3-on-3 basketball court, some of the fabulous architecture of the city as well, and broadcasting that right around the world.
How difficult have things been for you over the past few months with the global pandemic in terms of continuing the organisation that you needed to do? Because you have a deadline, you've pushed it back a day, but you've got to make that opening ceremony.
Indeed, look, like every other organisation, it's brought its challenges. Clearly, none of us were anticipating the working environment we've had to be in over the last few months. I think really pleased to say, though, we've continued to engage extensively with suppliers, brought on board some fabulous people, and I think, like a lot of businesses, been surprised at how well people have adjusted. So we've still been cracking on. We're still really confident we can deliver a world-class sporting event in the summer of 2022, which hopefully is the summer to be in, because we are all hopeful a vaccine comes along and we can bring people together again and really make it a real year of celebration. You know, I think next year will be a bit of recovery, and then we can start to get people back together, and we're right in the middle of it, right in the middle of summer. Huge and fantastic multi-sport event. So yeah, we're hopefully still on plan and still going to produce something spectacular.
Are you confident 2022 will go ahead as planned? Do you have a plan B that maybe is a behind closed doors Commonwealth Games or a scaled back Games?
Yeah, look, firstly, none of us can control the extent of COVID, obviously. But as we stand here, yes, we're absolutely confident it will go ahead to deadline. Look, if we need to adjust our plans, then we'll need to adjust our plans. Of course, we're thinking about that. But the great benefit we've got is that every sporting event around the world is thinking the same thing. So we will learn over the next 2 years if there are changes that need to be made, and COVID's still here come the summer of 2022. We'll have been able to watch football, rugby, potentially Olympics next year, and just watch how they cope and learn from those.
And how do you fit into that global sporting landscape in 2022? There's quite a lot on. You're going to finish the year with a World Cup. You've got the multi-European Championships happening, World Athletics. You've got football, obviously, as I mentioned, which is going on all year round, and you've got to try and find your little place in that. Yeah,
I mean, look, first I should say the Commonwealth Games has always had its place and has protected that, and actually we've retained that. We've had to move a single day because our opening ceremony was clashing with the semi-finals of the UEFA Women's Football Championships in England, so it wasn't good for both events to have that clash. So we moved back a single day, but we've got a slot there. It's not clashing directly with anything other than one football match. We've been working closely with World Athletics, who you rightly say have moved. We think we've now got an appropriate gap for athletes to compete in both. Working closely on our scheduling with the European Championships, because we've got a few sports that are in both, to make sure that there's enough gap between each of those. So we're now in a position that it's, yes, going to be a busy summer, brilliant for spectators, and we think we've got capacity now for athletes who want to compete at all three, even if athletics competitors, to be able to do that.
Now, COVID aside, Glasgow was a bit of a game changer for the Commonwealth Games. The Gold Coast again raised it up another level. Anyone that was there will know just how spectacular that was. Is Birmingham ready? Is Birmingham going to do it in the right way? And is Birmingham going to make some money for the city as well?
Yeah, well, look, that's the challenge, isn't it? And I'm really confident that we can exceed those two events. And, you know, I'm speaking, as you can tell, with the Glaswegian accents. I was involved in those games in Glasgow, but we absolutely are aiming to better those. And I think this is a perfect place to do it. You know, it's got some fantastic venues already in place. It's got a community here that are fully reflective of the Commonwealth. It's got some sites like this that can be completely transformed for games time. We have 28 million people within a 2-hour drive of Birmingham, so we should be getting some incredible engagement and support into the city. But you're right to say the most important thing now is what will the city get back in these difficult times. So yes, there's a significant investment from the region and national government into this, but we're really confident the economic benefit based on those previous 2 events will be a multiple of that investment. Hugely important here in Birmingham that we make sure that the jobs that come with the Commonwealth Games go locally, that those business opportunities work, and people can celebrate as well. You know, the city needs something really great to look forward to, and I think a lot of cities are probably thinking they had a Commonwealth Games coming to their city as well, and they can really bring people back together and really celebrate something special.
Well, thanks very much for your time, and all the very best. 2 years to go.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you.
And download our weekly Anything But Footy podcast for all the latest Olympic and Paralympic news, interviews and conversations. We're on Apple and Google Podcasts. Just search Anything But Footy.